Okay, take a look at the first sentence. First thing you got to decide. I don't have the flow chart, the chart in front of me, so you've got to look at your own chart. First thing you've got to decide. The dog's bone was buried in the yard. Here's our word in question. Is it singular? Are we talking about one dog or several dogs? Jennifer.
You're saying one dog because the dog?
Right. See, this is your keyword. The, and it's only one bone. So once it's singular, it's easy. It's apostrophe S. This is already has an apostrophe after it, so it's incorrect. You got to write the correct version on the line. Done. Go to sentence 2. Those men's hats are too expensive at that store. Think about it. Are we talking about men? Is it plural or is it singular? And how, if so, how do you know? Spence.
It's plural.
How do you know?
Because it says hats.
What else? What else cues you in? Because one man can have several hats. There's something else that clues you in that it's more, and you're right, it is plural. What is your other keyword? Those. That's indicating. And there's one more other little hint. Men. It's an irregular noun. When you go from man to men, you never add an S. The word men is plural. So now we know it's plural. We're going to go back to the flow chart again. We now know we've got to take this path. Got to ask yourself the next question. Does the plural normally end in S? Amanda?
No.
No, because the plural of man is men. Men does not get an S. So it's no. And then we find our answer. You add apostrophe S. That's our answer. Okay? Yeah. If I marked it wrong on your sheet, I'll give you credit. 3. Deer's antlers can grow to as long as 6 feet. And this goes to your question, Kelly, because there's no article the, those, or anything before it. So let's decide right now. Is it more than one deer or is it a single deer? Beck, what do you think?
It's more than one because antlers, there is a pair of it, but it's talking like more than one deer. It's not.
Yeah. If you don't have the word the, and, or anything before it, it's usually plural. What makes this really, really tricky is one deer is D-E-E-R, several deer is D-E-E-R. You can't tell. It's one of those nouns that does not change form when you pluralize it. So you've got to get a kind of a feel, and you've got to get the gist of the sentence. Is it more than one? And it is. It is plural. Now we got to make a decision. When you pluralize, when it goes from deer, singular, to the plural, does it get an S? It does not. If you go back to the flow chart, you have your answer. It's plural. It does not end in S. So to make it possessive, we got to add apostrophe S. If you look back at the sentence, it's correct. Correct gets written on the line. Student number 4. All of those knives' blades need to be sharpened. First decision is always the most important decision. Plural or singular? You are right. It's plural. Let's make our second decision. Plural. when you go from knife, singular, and you make it plural, does it get an S? Yes or no?
No.
What's the plural of knife?
You take away the after.
What's the plural of, okay, then what?
You add it's
The knife?
what?
What's more than one knife? 6
9.
gets an S, doesn't it? It gets an S. You change the F to a V, that's fine, but guess what? It's still getting an S. Therefore, it is yes. S apostrophe. Okay? You're right in that it's an irregular noun. It goes from knife to knives, but it still gets an S. So now you got to make it S apostrophe. I'm glad we caught it because that's a good example of why it can get confusing. Becomes that. Number 5. Geese's feathers have a protective coating that can repel water. Same thing as always. Our first decision, is it plural? Is it singular? George.
I think it's singular.
What's one geese is what? What do you call it? One geese. A geese is going flying. That make sense? What's the singular of geese? Therefore, it is not singular. It's plural. It's several geese. Okay. Go back to your flow chart. When you pluralize goose, it becomes geese, right? Does geese have an S at the end? Add apostrophe S. It's rewritten as apostrophe S. Number 6. Please do not cut my son's hair too short. Singular or plural? Jen. My son's hair. It's singular. My and hair, indicating one boy. Okay? Otherwise, it would say all of my son's hair. It's one son. Please don't do that. It's singular. Therefore, once you know it's singular, automatically apostrophe S, it's correct. Number 7. Yes. Question? You want to do it? Why? Yeah, here's your keyword, one of. Now, there's a typo here. This should have been one of the moon's largest craters. Should be an S on there, but that does not impact the answer. It is still singular, and it is still correct, because once we know it's singular, automatically apostrophe S no matter what. Number 8, all of those another one of these are regular. This is like the one with knife and knives. All of those scarves' colors are bright and vibrant. Plural or singular? Brandon.
Plural.
How do you know?
Because scarf doesn't end with the meaning scars.
Okay, so the word itself, scarves, is plural because it's an irregular noun, so it automatically becomes scarves. So the word itself indicates, what else clues you in? Well, even before that, what are you looking at before that indicated it's more than one scarf? All of those. Okay, it's plural. Go back to your decision tree. Once we know it's plural, when it goes from scarf to the plural, is there normally an S at the end? I'm going to you, Seals. It's just like knife. What's the plural of scarf? Does it have an S or not?
It does.
It does. So therefore, S apostrophe. And if we look at it, it is correct. I'm going to do two more here, and then I think that's enough. I don't want to spend all of our time doing it, and we have a follow-up assignment that we're going to do. My brother's arm is broken. Aileen.
It's singular.
It is. Automatically becomes what then?
Apostrophe S.
You got it. Okay. For the next two, I'm going to conclude with this. I'm just going to make it simple. Places and people, circle it on your sheet. And make this note. Places, and when I say places, I mean proper names like names of cities or names of towns or names of states. Places and people, always singular. But what made this confusing is I changed this to a plural. You can't change a city, S-C-I-T-Y, okay, an actual place, and make it plural. There's still only one New York City. So when you do this, it's New York apostrophe S. Or if you just put down city, capital C-I-T-Y, apostrophe S, that's fine too. And same thing with Courtney's. There can only be one person named Courtney. Right, Courtney? Apostrophe S. Proper places, proper names always are singular. It's always apostrophe S. Aaron.
If I'm mistaken, marked it wrong, but I had Possessives and apostrophe S.
I'll take a look at it. All right, I'm going to pause this from here on out, and